Hey folks, Kay here with a quick heads up. We will be discussing sexual topics in this episode. Just wanted to let you know before you listen in case this is something that might make you uncomfortable. Enjoy the show.
Tone Deaf is the journey of a musical theater nerd, bringing musicals into the life of their musically challenged spouse. The reactions to the musicals are real and mostly unedited. This show is for ages 14 and up, because sometimes you just need to use a swear. Now sit back, relax, and have a laugh. You're listening to Tone Deaf.
Welcome to Tone Deaf, a theater nerd's guide for their musically challenged spouse. I'm Kay, a musical theater nerd.
And I'm Warren. I'm musically challenged.
Alright, so today we have Rent 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Rent 2, The Revenge. The Battles of the Rent. 2 rents enter, 1 rent leaves.
Well, it's a little bit of a head-to-head, but not quite like the Jesus head-to-head.
That's true.
I
just have my one joke, Kay. One joke.
I'm sorry.
I'm just doing what I can, you know.
So, before we begin, I just wanted to thank you guys for tuning in every week, and thank you for the ratings that we've been getting on iTunes. This is just helping us out a lot.
We greatly appreciate it, and it brings a smile to our faces, and we love seeing it. So thank you so much, and we just cannot thank you enough.
Yeah.
And if you're tired of us thanking you, then, spread this podcast to some of your friends or family members who maybe don't know about it yet, and then we can thank them and not just you.
Yes.
We'll share the thanks around.
So, what I was saying last week with our episode, because I went off on that tangent and didn't quite go into the facts and figures that I had wanted to, because I just had so many feelings about Rent. This week is the Fact and Figures week.
You don't have to have a whole lot of feelings about Rent. Rent is paid for this month, so, it's okay. It's all right.
Yeah, we're good this month. So, like I had said last week, this show was super popular from the get-go, and the New York Times actually did call it a rock opera for our time, a hair for the 90s.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, it was hair for the 90s. So this show is the 11th longest running show in history, having run for 5,124 performances.
Almost made it in the top 10. But, I mean, it's not in the top 10, so we gotta throw it out.
So it was in the top 10, but Wicked showed up on Valentine's Day of 2016 at about 2 p.m. It took Rent behind a back alley and beat it up and stole its lunch money. And
I'm going to take your spot, and your little dog, too.
Jesus.
I think that just caught Kay off guard.
It did. It really did. So, I was gonna say, so after Wicked beat them up, Rent got bumped from 11th place to 10th place, while Wicked muscled its way between Chorus Line and Les Mis, which, by the way, that shit's still running.
Which show?
Wicked. So,
yeah.
Les Mis had better watch their back.
Wicked is the theater assassin.
Mm-hmm.
Slowly creeping up on all these other shows.
Yeah,
taking them behind
Les
back
Mis
alleys.
had closed on Broadway, so
Touching
Wicked
them
could gun.
inappropriately.
Wow, no, jeez.
I'm sorry, Kay. Please continue with your well thought out intro.
So, where was I? I was gonna go a little bit into some of the awards. Wow, I saw where my sigh came up on the on the sound. Yikes. So, I was going to go over some of the rewards that Rent won. So, like I had said last week, it won Best Musical. It also won Best Book of Musical and Best Original Score.
I think it also won Electricity, Heating, and Air. Cable, I don't think was in there.
Utilities. And you had a lot of nominations for it, like for Best Leading Actor and Actress, for Best Featured Actor and Actress, Best Direction, Best Choreography, etc. It did win Best Featured Actor, and that was won by the actor who played Angel, Wilson Germain Heredia, which is the same person who played Angel in the movie.
Gotcha.
So... that was for the Tonys in 1996, and then it also won Drama Desk Award in 1996, which is another theater awards. They had Outstanding Musical. They won Outstanding Book of a Musical. They won Outstanding Featured Actor in a Musical. I mean, Wilson was just taking them all.
They must have gotten tired of winning.
Just won so... God, won so much. They also won Outstanding Orchestrations, Outstanding Lyrics, Outstanding Music. Like I said, the show has just done amazingly well. They won the Pulitzer Prize for Drama. They won the Theater World Award. That was Adam Pascal and Daphne Rubin Vega won that. And then in 97, they were nominated for Best Musical Show Album in the Grammys, but didn't win it. Not sure who won it.
Still cool to be nominated.
Yeah, still good to be nominated, and
I've seen some actors, all they can tout is 10 nominations for this. Like, never won, but they've gotten a bunch of nominations.
Yeah, always a bridesmaid, never a bride.
Yeah.
Yep. Shockingly, there's a junior version of this show.
Wait. When you say junior version...
Like high school.
That's what I was afraid you would say.
Yep. There's a high school version, which I guess if there's a hair version, fine, sure, whatever. They cut down the swearing.
Well, shit.
They get rid of the song Contact, which, you'll see, boy.
So that's in the show, but not the movie?
Yes, and there's a reason. The movie would have had a very different rating.
So it's Contact. Does it have to do with fencing or crossing of swords?
Yes. It's a song about swordplay. This version was licensed out by MTI, Musical Theater International.
Thank you.
Who, if I remember right, are responsible for Avenue Q Jr., which...
No,
How?
You know what? Stop taking adult shows and making junior versions of them. Just stop it. Just stop it.
Last week I had also said that you wouldn't see revivals of this. That was because I forgot that there was a revival in 2011. And the reason I forgot was because it wasn't well received.
Was it like a TV one?
No, it was
like on Broadway?
On Broadway revival. It only ran from August 2011 to September of 2012, so...
Oh, so...
Yeah.
Geez, so just a little over a year.
Yeah, New York Times basically described it as contrived, and in their words said it's not close enough to, or different enough from the original to warrant revising.
Weird.
Yeah.
Interesting. Because I feel like it's... Like, we had this discussion last time. I feel like if you're gonna do a revival, like... modernize it for the current time, especially this kind, because we were talking about all the LGBT things that they didn't represent as well as they could have because of when it was done. It's like, update that shit.
Yeah, but whatever. I'm not the one in charge.
Yeah, whatever. That's not the one we're watching.
In 2019, there was a live version aired on Fox, and like I said last week, we aren't watching that one because, according to a lot of coworkers, the sound wasn't great, and I feel that to watch a show for the first time, if I can get the best sound quality possible, then that's what I want, because, again, we both have auditory issues.
What?
Wow, I'm gonna have to cut that down. Okay.
Huh?
So, I do want to see this, though, eventually, because, this, non-binary drag queen named Valentina is in it as Angel, so, represent.
Woo.
Mm-hmm. So I want to see that. I think my mom has that one recorded too.
Is that
for
the
us.
Fox one?
Yeah.
Mm.
Last week I talked a little bit about that there was kind of a following for this show. This group was called Rentheads. They were the folks who used to camp outside the theater to wait to get the discounted rush tickets to the show.
You know, and I'm still disappointed in them for their lack of imagination. Why didn't they just go with renters? Like, that I think that is way better than Rentheads. But, hey,
well,
whatever.
So it probably was to go off of the Grateful Dead thing, the Deadheads.
Yeah, I can see that, but, like,
yeah.
it's something different, and how about you be original? Or at least attempt it.
Fair. So,
I'm just here to be your counterbalance.
Counterpoint. Now, though, the term's kind of a blanket term for the super fans of Hair. So the people...
Of Hair?
Of Rent.
Okay.
Wow.
I was going to ask you to explain that connection, but...
Okay. Goodness.
Kay misspoke, everyone, which is okay.
Kay misspoke. Kay is very tired.
That is alright.
Kay did not get enough sleep.
Overworked and underslept.
Yep, overworked and underslept. So, as you know, Warren...
I know something?
Yes, you do. You know, because of Team America, that this that this show's been referenced by a lot of non-theater pop culture.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of TV shows have done it, including The Simpsons. They have referenced it. You'll have, Team America. Wade Wilson in Deadpool, he wore a Rent t-shirt.
Oh, that's right.
Yes. That made me go, hee. Forbidden Broadway has spoofed it. And then another show that we're going to be watching called Hedwig and the Angry Inch has...
Would you say that title again?
Hedwig and the Angry Inch.
There's a joke I'm going to tell you off mic later.
And I bet that it's going to have to do with the show. Spoilers. So, the lead of that show wears a Rent t-shirt as well. So, a lot of pop culture.
A lot of homage being paid.
Yeah, Rent. A lot of homage. So we're going to be watching the, it's called the last performance, or the final performance. It was in, 2008. That was their final show on Broadway.
And is this a completely different cast?
This is a completely different cast.
Okay.
The people from the original cast do show up.
Oh.
I think just on the DVD extras, though. I'm not 100% sure. But they do make an appearance. So, our main cast for this will have Adam Cantor as Mark, Will Chase as Roger, Renee Elise Goldsberry as Mimi, Michael McElroy, not that McElroy, as Tom Collins, Justin Johnson as Angel, Eden Espinoza as Maureen. Tracy Thorns, though, she will be in there as Joanne, and she was in the movie.
Same woman?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
And then Rodney Hicks as Benny. So, this will be as close to what you would have seen on Broadway, because it is what you would have seen on Broadway.
So this isn't a, dang it, we just barely had
This isn't a revival.
Okay.
This is the last performance of their Broadway run before Wicked decided to gang up on it and beat it up in a back alley for its spot.
This is the same show you would have seen when it first was aired.
Yes, this is the same show that back in 96 you would have seen, because they weren't changing things.
I mean, not me, because I was like 9, and I'm pretty sure they wouldn't have let a 9-year-old.
I mean, they might have, because when my mom and I went and saw Avenue Q in London, some parents brought in their 6-year-old.
Yeah, but that's London. Their censorship is way different than our censorship.
I mean, they did have warnings, and I still don't know, because they have parental advisory warnings out for that show.
Warning! Because there are puppets doesn't mean this is Sesame Street.
I do not know why those parents took that child. with
It's
as
tough to get a sitter,
worldly
I
as my
guess.
mom raised me, she would never have done that. Ever. Not, at least not without sitting me down and going, okay, sweetie, let me talk to you about some things. There will be swearing. There will be puppet sex. When one puppet loves another puppet, well, you remember the book.
When one puppet loves another puppet, two people stick their hands up their asses.
Oh my god. Okay, so because this will be a little bit longer, we're gonna kind of have this be a shorter opening intro, and then we'll go and watch the show. We'll take a brief intermission, and then we'll come back, and you can let me know what you think compared to the movie.
525,600 minutes from now. Seconds, maybe. Math is hard. Hey folks, your wacky and wonderful Warren here with a quick shout out. Kay and I would like to thank our ticket holders for supporting our show, and a special shout out to our Playbill sponsor Jasmine Wu and our crew member sponsor Bianucci for their generous monthly donations.
Warren and I greatly appreciate your support of our show. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We truly cherish your support.
Before we jump back into our show, let's take a quick break to hear from our friend Hillary over at History on Blast.
Hello, and welcome to History on Blast. I'm Hillary, and I'll be your host as we call out history. Every other week, we'll be putting a different person, place, time, or event on blast for the shit that they pulled. This ain't your grandpa's history podcast, so if this sounds like your cup of harbor tea, be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast catcher.
And now, the lights are going down and the music is starting back up, so let's hop into the second act of the show. Alright, Warren, so what'd you think of this version?
No show, but this last week was a miss. This show is great. This you cannot debate. This show's the best. It beats the rest. If you argue with me, Kay, you'll be sleeping on some hay. So, this was a really good version.
Oh my god. Yeah, it was.
This was a really good version. While I did like the movie and I thought it was very well done, night and day difference between the two. Just absolutely night and day difference.
Yeah.
And you were very right. There's a lot of subtle stuff that they cut out. The Broadway version is much more of a sung-through musical most of the time. I would say like 75 to 80% of the time it's a sung-through.
Yeah.
And they do have parts where they're just doing straight dialogue, which is fine and all that. But, you know, it's very different. It's very different. They're both good. I do like this one better.
Same. I
do like this one better just because of the extra insight you get to some of the characters. The movie, you know, for what it was, is a very, like, that's the thing, is I feel bad in this review because I feel like I'm going to be poo-pooing the movie by talking about how much I like this version, and I don't mean to do that, because, you know, everything in the movie was great. Like, the actors were all great, the songs and everything was great. I feel like everybody did a great job. But it is a movie musical versus a musical.
Yeah.
And so I almost feel like it's one of those things that it almost kind of reminds me of when a book becomes a movie and people are like, the book is just so much
Yeah.
better than the movie. It's just there's things you lose in translation.
Yep.
Trying to fit a different medium. And I really, they need to do more of this where they just have Broadway videotaped
Yes.
and streamed.
Dear God, yes.
It just needs to be done more. Just needs to be done more because it's so freaking well done.
Yeah, to the Broadway producers that we are sure are listening to this podcast right now.
Because we know that you consult our expert opinion before making your lofty business decisions.
I would personally, spend money on a true Broadway streaming service. There is one with Amazon, but it's very limited. I would do that. And I mean, if you were to have just a camera set up every performance or every other performance, there would be people who would watch.
Oh, absolutely.
There would be people who would pay money to watch it.
Not everybody can get to New York to go see Broadway.
And
it's just
lot
not
of shows don't
feasible.
get to places.
Yeah, a lot of shows don't get to places, exactly. And it's just, there's plenty of people in the Midwest like us who would love to see live theater, but we, don't have a whole lot of options.
Yeah.
Or, maybe money.
Yeah.
And come on, you want to spread your art to as many people as can see it and appreciate it. So
yeah,
get with it, business executives.
I would totally pay for a true Broadway streaming service. Please do it, please, because this was fantastic. It was everything I've wanted. Anyway.
Anyway, so enough kissing the butthole.
I do have a question, though.
Okay. Shoot.
Lauren.
Yes, Kay.
What is Broadway?
Oh, God. I was hoping you'd save this for later, but we can do it now. So, I'm gonna shine a light for all of you sophisticated, well-rounded individuals listening. I'm gonna shine a light into the mud pit that is my mind that I roll around in. I thought that Broadway was just one theater. I thought that Broadway was just one big fancy theater that all of the big fancy theater people go to see big fancy theater shows. I didn't realize that Broadway was like the Las Vegas Strip, and there's a bunch of different theaters on Broadway showing different shows. So I had asked Kay, does Broadway only show one show at a time? And as you can hear Kay's laughter, she just openly mocked me, told me what uncultured swine I was and that her mother was right and she shouldn't have married me, but it's not my fault. I'm claiming ignorance on this, you fine folks out there, and I hope that there's someone out there who is as ignorant as I was and didn't know that Broadway wasn't one lone magical theater, but was instead this wonderland of theaters. So yeah, I learned something today, okay?
I did too, because I realized that in explaining some of these shows, like saying, oh, they opened at the Nederlander Theater on Broadway and such, that I was going more by, context clues, because that's something that's second nature to me, is that, oh, Broadway's a street, and it's got all these different theaters. And so it just took me by surprise, because I was like, oh, I didn't do context clues correctly.
So you want to know something stupid? It's not that you didn't give context clues correctly. For all I knew, the Broadway theater was like the Delta Center, and just whoever is donating money gets to name the theater. So if we had money, then the show would be presented at the Kay and Warren Theater, because we were the ones bankrolling it.
It hasn't been the Delta Center since.
I know. It's Energy Solutions, Maverick Center, whatever.
It's Vivint or some crap now.
Vivint Arena, whatever the hell it is. I don't know. I don't go to sports ball. I don't care to watch the Jazz not make it to the finals.
Oh, God, I'm gonna die.
Oh, here comes that sweet life insurance money. Is this admissible in court? If I kill her with laughter, is that murder?
Oh my gosh. Oh, I shouldn't laugh when it's this hot. Oh, I'm legit sweating from laughter. Or crying, or both.
You're crying out of your pores from laughter.
Okay, so we've gotten that out of the way.
You know
We've
what?
got our tangent out of the way.
You know what? We are we really 22 minutes? Let's see. No.
No,
Okay, continue.
That's a continuation.
We're an unspecified number of minutes into the second half, and I haven't even touched on my notes at all. It's just been making fun of me and things that I don't know. Kay picks on me, you guys. Like, she's so mean to me. Just sitting there laughing at my ignorance. Like, it's not my fault I'm an uncultured swine. I was born in a barn. It's not my fault.
I'm gonna die.
So,
okay.
The Rent 2008 Broadway production that we watched that was filmed was done by Radical Media. This show was produced by a surfer dude bro, wasn't it? Haha, dude, let's go to Broadway and we'll record Rent because none of us can have Rent because we're beach bums. Ha ha ha. That was really bad. I apologize to any West Coast beach bums who took time out from surfing the waves to listen to our podcast and went, I don't sound like that. I'm very sorry. So, this show is definitely different from the movie that we watched last week. The differences so far that I noticed in the beginning, it opens with a monologue to set the scene before moving on to We Won't Pay Rent, that song. We get more background about Benny, and when he used to be a cool dude, and as well had more chemistry, as well as more chemistry between Angel and Collins during their first meeting. Except Angel apparently doesn't take no for an answer. That's creepy, Angel. No means no. Bad Angel. He is trying to schmooze on Collins, and he's like, come on, we'll go to the meeting and then we'll have dinner, and he's like, I don't know about that, and he's like, I don't take no.
I think it's more of an I don't take no for treating somebody that, treating you out to dinner because I just killed a dog and I have $1,000.
Yeah, well, whoa, okay, let's not go that way. Yeah, the dog murderer. Meanwhile, Roger is still writing one okay song. I mean, I don't blame the guy. If I found out I had HIV once, I'd stare at Kay with lasers in my eyes.
Why?
Because I didn't get it. I'd be looking at you with laser beams going, where have you been?
And I'm sitting here going, why would he be doing that? Because I wouldn't be doing anything.
And two, I'd probably finish writing a book. If I had HIV, I'd be like, I need to finish my one great masterpiece, and it'd just be an okay book. So, and then Mimi and Roger's scene is pretty much the same, except Mimi has way more melanin in her skin this time around.
Mm-hmm. Mimi was hot.
Yeah,
holy smokes.
Mimi was a very pretty young black lady with a very nice booty that was in tight clothing.
I was torn between, do I want to wear the outfits or am I just going,
you know, I'm very
look at you in that outfit.
I'm very lucky that I can comment on a woman and not have my wife get mad at me for it, because she's also commenting on a woman. So we see Joanne's parents before the engagement/breakup party. Spoilers! Which actually is funny because I just assumed that scene would be in the musical, and it was not.
Nope.
So that is
Hollywood.
kind of moot. Angel is the money honey doggy dispatcher we all love. Makes his entrance bearing rent money and confesses to Pupperside. Same as he did in the other version. Benny shows up with his bribery song, I'm a douchebag who used to be poor, but now I'm married and up and now I suck. Benny, I like Benny more in this version.
Yeah, you feel more for him.
You feel, well...
okay. Maybe not feel for him, but you can see where his choices came from, and...
I don't know. I still don't like Benny.
Oh, I still hate his guts.
However, he has one really good scene later on with Collins, which kind of bumped him up a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still a douchebag, but at least he's better than the movie version of Benny. Joanne. So Joanne looks really familiar in this. I don't want to say that black people look alike, but she looks so much like Joanne from the movie.
Oh my God.
Kay, don't be mad. Please don't be mad, Kay. She dances the tango like the other Joanne, too. Like, they have the same moves.
That's because they're the same person.
Oh, so Kay is saying that black people look alike.
No, they're
For
literally
shame,
the
Kay.
same person.
No, Kay, two people cannot be in two different places. No, one person cannot be in two places at the same time, okay? We watched her in the movie, and she's here in this show. She can't be in both places. Does she have a twin? Bad joke, I'm sorry. Moving on. I do have a question, though.
Yes.
How does Maureen not have AIDS with how much she cheats? I ask Kay. Because she uses dental dam and condoms.
It's Kay's response.
I proceed to learn something from Kay that I didn't know. Moving on. The life support song is sung, different from the movie, and then it jumps to Mimi's dancing job, which oddly has a stricter dress code than the movie did. So this is one part where I will say that I thought the movie was better, because if you're going to be a dancing girl at a club, I felt like Mimi in the movie was more scantily clad.
Yeah.
And I felt like fit a club dancer thing better. Not to poo-poo Mimi in the theater show, because she had a rockin' outfit.
Yeah.
But she also proceeds to, like, wear that outfit the rest of, or I should say the majority of the rest of the show. So I didn't really strike me as a dancer's outfit. It was more like scantily clad going out to the club. It
was her after work outfit.
But she was singing and dancing at the club while in it.
They never specified that she was actually, like, at the club. They just had her singing, grinding on... I mean, the set pieces in this are kind of fluid.
Well,
in that they're all the same set, and it's hard to sometimes tell where one place is and another begins.
It's very hard for me to argue anything theater-related with Kay, because she knows things and I don't.
Oh, I'm extrapolating different data than you are. Because I went, oh, that's probably what she would wear leaving the club.
It's a very polite way to put it.
I'm gonna tickle you later.
Why? What did I do?
Just because you're being silly.
I'm being silly.
Yeah, you're being silly, boy.
Okay. Well, that's fair. Differences between Kay and I. Man, that mic pack. I don't envy her. And I'm just over here staring at Mimi's butt like, yeah, mic pack. I didn't notice the mic pack at all. And then I just hear Kay being like, man, that's a big mic pack. I hope she doesn't get shocked. I hope there's a condom around that mic pack. Because apparently condoms are great insulators for mic packs.
Yep. Learned that doing Godspell of all shows.
Things I did not know. And I'm just like, yeah, mic pack, not tight-fitting pants around a butt.
To be fair, like, if it hadn't have been for the fact that the mic pack was so huge, I wouldn't have noticed. But it was like half of her back, and it was one of those things that my eyes went straight to that going, you could have hidden that better.
See, and I didn't even... Yeah, you know how could they hit it better? By having a woman with a nice butt showing her butt to the audience. I didn't even notice the mic pack.
You also don't know not to look for it, but it's not one of those things that springs to your mind and you go,
well,
ha!
I noticed Maureen's mic pack in a later scene. So, I mean, I do notice some things other than butts. So, I mean, I think that's a point in my category.
Hey, I'm not blaming you. Her butt was nice. I just happened to notice them.
Okay, enough about Mimi's butt. We have to break away from Mimi's butt.
We can talk about her butt some more.
We'll start a whole new podcast called Mimi's butt. Yeah. And I am HIV positive. That butt is awesome. Close your mouth, Kay. You're gonna catch a fly.
Holy shit.
What? She has HIV. It's not my fault. I'm not the one who gave her AIDS, okay?
Wow.
She's a junkie. But after, Mimi, she has her song at the club, and she's singing and dancing, and then, same as in the movie, she, bursts in on Roger, who's still attempting to write his okay song. Dang it, Mimi, you don't burst in on a guy and his guitar. It's a special bond. He's busy writing his one okay song.
I'm writing one mediocre song.
Pretty much. Like, it's not good.
It's not
good. Like you talked about previously, if the creator hadn't died, I think that's something that could have used a workshop, that song there. Actually make it a good song. I feel like with how much it's referenced in that show, it should be a song that's like everybody's favorite.
Yeah, and instead...
It's just very much of a throwaway song.
Yeah.
It's just there to be like, I am sad that you are dying. It's like... So... back at life support, where everyone lacks dignity about their nightmares, I feel bad making fun of that scene, because it's a sad scene.
Yeah.
People just... Yeah. I know that we're treading previous ground a lot, but if I didn't write things down, then this would be our shortest episode ever.
Yeah.
Because it would have been, here's the things that are different. Good night, folks.
And I can't remember if I mentioned it last week. Maybe you do. With that life support scene, originally it was a lot more just, forget regret, life is yours to miss, and there was no, talking about how scary it actually was for those people. Like, you didn't have, what's his name? The guy that's saying, I have a problem with this, my T-cells are low.
That is in the movie, though.
Yeah, that is in the movie, but, it wasn't originally in the show. Jonathan Larson hadn't put it in, he had just had it be the, whole uplifting, positive mentality, and then someone who was HIV positive was like, no, this is how we feel, is that it is scary, we are going to die, this is horrible. So he added in that bit with, wow, I cannot remember the character's name for the life of me, but the guy talking about how, he, feels like he's got a problem with the whole, forget regret, life is yours to miss, saying, that he's scared that Reason said he should have died 3 years ago.
Yeah.
That line wasn't originally in it until Jonathan Larson had that conversation, and then it was like, oh, okay, I need to put that in.
Where was this information last week, Kay? Huh?
I think I was too busy talking about feelings with this show.
I'm just creeping you. No, that's cool that he actually had information given to him by someone who's going through that, and he could incorporate that.
Which is part of why I said last week that if he would have still been alive, I think that the show would have had some revisions, especially for LGBT issues.
No, I think that's entirely plausible. Mm-hmm. I don't think there's any grounds to dismiss that.
Yeah.
One thing I was going to say, though, is one thing I do think the movie did better than this show was showing, just because of tricks you can do with film versus theater. One of the parts when they go back to the life support meeting and they're going around and you see people fading out of their chairs.
Yeah.
Symbolizing that people have they've died and they're not there anymore. That, I thought, was incredibly powerful for the film. You don't get that in the theater. You don't get that in that at all, because that would be impossible to do. Other than just have someone get up and walk out and you'd be like, why is he leaving? He's dead. Oh, but he's right there. Yeah. So, the point to the movie, in regards to that, better depiction of some visual drama. I just realized, though, there are more singing people in the Broadway show than there are in the movie.
More singing people?
Oh, singing homeless people.
Oh!
Sorry, gotta add
no worries.
Adjective to that noun. There's more singing...
Gotta unpack those adjectives.
This is not Schoolhouse Rock. There's more singing homeless people in the theater version versus the movie, but being homeless seems so magical in the theater version. Unless the popo show up to make you their ho-ho for show. And then the homeless lady yells at Mark. I mean, to be fair, if someone yelled at me and then sarcastically asked for $1, I'd tell them to go Feliz Navidad themselves. Because it's Christmas!
That's the biggest change between this and the movie. Is the movie takes place, like the opening of the movie takes place over several days.
That's what you were saying, like, the movie obviously, the opening part of the movie, like, it's obviously night, day, like, stuff is happening. But you're saying the whole first act of the theater version is just Christmas Eve.
Yep.
Which, that's a lot to cram into one night. It's a busy night, especially when they're like, oh, we have a meeting at 9:30, and that's at the beginning. At the beginning, they're like, we have a meeting at 9:30, and then it's like, protest, dinner, like, song after song after song after song.
City that never sleeps.
Yeah, if you're a smack hound, apparently not. Like, I don't know. I've always heard that heroin makes you sleepy.
Yeah.
So I don't know why Mimi has so much goddamn energy. Like, I feel like she should be passed out in every single scene, except for when she's working.
I have no frame of reference for that, so...
Hey, neither do I. I'm just depicting, what I've seen in, like, Train Spotting and shit.
Okay, so... yeah, fair.
Man, I say this a lot in my notes. I just realized a Santa Fe restaurant. I love Southwestern food. I want to go there now. We can go there. I want the angel wing enchiladas. Back to Colin's comment. I'd be super curious about the computer age philosophy class that he teaches.
Yeah.
Maybe we can find a way to control alt delete the human condition, perhaps. What, it's not that kind of a class? Please laugh.
Jesus.
I do kind of wonder what that means, though. That's something I'd be curious to, if I could talk to the creator and ask him about what does that mean, computer age philosophy, because to me that just kind of signifies that dealing with philosophy in the modern age, just because things are so different.
That's what it would be, probably.
But, yeah, I mean, I don't really have a frame of reference to go on. I mean, for one, I've never taken even as much as I am into philosophy, I've never taken a philosophy class, because college is expensive and I don't want to pay for it. So... And again, Kay, just like in the movie, sex for rent.
Oh my god.
I am disappointed in Angel and Collins. That is no way to start a healthy relationship. Wait, you can't buy love, but you can rent it. I hope Kay doesn't raise my rent. She said she's gonna raise my rent. I'm gonna be
That was not what that expression meant. Unless... I was about to take things in a wrong direction. Okay, let's go.
Anyway. And then I have a quote in here from Kay. When you think about it, they kind of U-Haul.
Yes.
As far as I know, that's a lesbian thing.
Yeah,
what I've heard.
I'm just...
So for you listeners out there who don't know what the term U-Haul refers to, I will direct you to Kay because she can explain it better.
I've mostly heard it. Granted, I am bi. I'm not a lesbian, so, but I've heard it from other lesbians that it's the moving in together as soon as you start dating, basically. And it's not literally right as soon as you started dating, but it's at an early point in your relationship. But at the same time, a lot of Mormons U-Haul too.
We've been dating for 2 weeks and things are going good. Let's move in together.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you actually raise a fair point. It might be a Utah thing? I don't know, because relationships in the state seem to move at breakneck speed.
So the U-Hauling is generally out of state, because I haven't seen it as much with... in Utah has weird statistics with all of that stuff. So, well, not statistics, but, weird trends with all of that, because everyone U-Hauls in Utah. Utah should be U-Halta.
U-Halta?
Yeah, because everybody does it here.
U-Halta move in together and start having babies.
Yeah, yeah. But I hadn't heard of it as a term until seeing stuff from folks outside of the state, and then I was like, that's a thing, and it's mostly lesbians, but Colin's an angel, the kind of U-Haul.
But Kay raises a fair point. At this point in the show, it has been one night.
Yes.
They have not even known each other a full 24 hours.
Yeah.
They're already committing their love to one another, and being like, I will move in with you and we will live together and I'll pay you in sex.
I mean, there is kind of a depressing reason for that, and it's why it's common in lesbian and other communities as well.
I do kind of get that it's because they both have AIDS and
they're both gay.
Yeah,
and they're both.
I do get that, like, there is reason, you know, in their world for that to occur, but at the same time, I was going to say something stupid. I, as a straight cis white man, could not possibly understand what it's like from the perspective of two gay guys with AIDS living in New York in the late 80s, early 90s. So, shut up, Warren. Go back to your notes, white boy.
Fine. You're fine. So... it's just one of those things that, like, it's funny to think about, and then if you think about it too much, you go, oh, but there actually is a reason why that is so common, and it's very painful, and people suck, and people need to stop sucking.
No, it's true. If I had a life-threatening illness that I was aware of, that I knew was going to take me before my time, I would probably live a little more quickly.
Well, and not only that, but like with the whole U-hauling thing, just with LGBT folks, it's hard to find someone who is your sexuality who also meshes with you. It's not like you can find a lot of... and
not just physically compatible, but emotionally and mentally compatible as well.
It's not just like with HIV, you've got that. If you're not HIV positive, you've got that issue. And so, I mean, eHarmony, you know, doesn't really do same sex as far as I know, so...
I don't know if they're better or not, but yeah, that used to be a thing.
Yeah.
They
wouldn't match you if you weren't Christian, so...
Yeah, that's actually true. So, funny little side tangent, Kay and I met online. We actually met online on a dating website. Apparently, her and I were on 3 of the same dating websites, and we met on a 4th.
Yep.
So, yeah. So let's just go to show you that luck is involved sometimes.
Yes.
So, yeah. But tangent aside, Angel does have a great scene with buying Colin a coat, because after, you know, he got mugged in the opening scene, his coat got stolen and shredded and stuff, so he doesn't have a coat. And it's Christmas time in New York, so it's freaking cold.
Yeah, it's the worst cold.
Yeah, it's because it's coast cold. Yeah, and he's buying Colin a coat from this homeless lady, and she holds up this one, and I can't remember specifically what it looks like, but Angel is like, no bueno, and she does this great thing where she, like, falls over very dramatically, and is, like, kicking her leg up at the coat, like, and it just reminded me of, like, almost like a cat, like, ew, get it away, get it away,
stop,
get it away, no. But I just thought that was funny. Angel thinks it's repulsive and falls to the floor like a drama queen kicking at it.
Angel was right. That was not a good coat.
See, and I was too busy typing notes. I looked up and got a glimpse of the coat, but then saw Angel's reaction.
Yeah.
And that's what I remember. So another difference with the theater version versus the movie, Mimi's dealer sings while he slings his D, his C, his X, and his smack. But he's gonna make it. He's gonna make it snow. We might just call him Frosty. Frosty the Snowman.
Frosty the Blowman.
Nice.
Thanks.
Frosty the Dope Man. He'll get you high for sure. You'll be sucking dick to get your fix. There's more than one type of blow.
And we're explicit.
Oh. The joke presented itself and I had to go with it. I'm sorry, you 14-year-olds who are listening, who I'm sure have no idea what that is. Because when I was 14, I totally didn't know what that was.
It's a candy called Richard, but you can't have it until you're older, much older. So... don't do drugs, kids. Stay in school.
Yeah, don't do drugs. Drugs will ruin your life.
Don't do drugs, kids, and don't do Richard.
Don't do Richard. Richard is bad. But good news! Maureen's protest performance is still bizarre as all hell.
Yeah.
Only thing to do is throw her at the moon, I guess.
I will say I liked this version of it better because she really sold the I am a early 20s white girl who has this idea of what I'm supposed to be doing to protest and stuff, and I'm an artist.
In my opinion, I thought they were about the same. I mean, I felt like that both people did a good job. I think maybe one of the differences is that in the movie you're seeing everybody else and it's lit and you're seeing more of the environment. In the theater version, it is focused on her. It is dark. It's just focused on her. You don't see anybody else.
Yeah, and she has to sell that scene.
Yeah, and it's a bizarre scene. It's probably one of my least favorite scenes, just because it's just it. I mean, it is what it is.
When I said I liked it better, that doesn't mean I liked it.
You're picking between two turds.
I'm picking between two horrible scenes.
This turd doesn't smell as much, so I guess I like this turd more. But that's not very nice because both actresses did a fantastic job and have great singing voices, and I applaud both of you.
Yes.
One thing, though, there's no riot in this version. I was expecting a riot.
Oh, you okay, Goober?
Are you okay, Latte?
One moment, we are going to pause.
I don't know if people heard that. She was whimpering. I don't know if she fell asleep or was having a nightmare.
Yeah, one moment, we're going to pause our recording. And we're back.
So our poor sweet pupper girl had fallen asleep during our broadcast because we're so engaging and riveting, and had a nightmare and was making whimperies, which was very, very sad.
Yeah.
So thoughts and prayers for Latte to not have nightmares. Everybody out there,
do a prayer circle.
Everybody out there better be having good thoughts towards our dog.
Yes.
I'm just saying that right now. Or else. But, so what I was saying is there's no riot in this version, which I was kind of expecting just because I saw one version. So I was like, oh, it's going to be cookie cutter, the same. But no, there's no riot. Just a meeting at the Life Cafe where Benny tells the Good Time Gang to get a life and join reality. Oh, and that Bohemia is dead. A vigil is held in her honor. La vie bohème. The song is really, really good, and but it's still a word salad with a good tune.
Yeah.
Like this, it's one of my favorite scenes, but it's just... What was the name of the creator again?
Jonathan Larson.
If he was alive, I'd be very curious to ask him why with that scene. Just like why the word salad? It just seemed like it was a bunch of unrelated things and they just put them together because it rhymes.
You know, it's one of those... I would be curious to know too, because my own biased thoughts would be going back to the New York Times thing, calling it the Hair of the 90s. Hair had a lot of word salad songs too.
Yeah, but everybody was high.
But still. Or it could be like, you know, we didn't start the fire, which, granted, it's not a complete word salad, is kind of a word salad.
Fire.
And so what they're doing in this, they're talking about a lot of things that are sort of hot button counterculture things of the 90s. And there's a lot more of an emphasis on punk in this version. Like, actually letting characters that are punk look like they're punk instead of grunge.
That's true, and a lot of La Vie Bohème is counterclockwise culture. You know, it's going against the establishment and what people consider to be normal. We're just too real, man. You just can't handle us. It's kind of the attitude of it. But, oh no. My notes had closed. My computer is mad.
All right. And we're back.
And we are back. After my computer attempted to sabotage me, it's going, you are crazy, Warren.
I hope you enjoyed the do-do-do song. Yeah. That's our new intro.
I can just,
our new intro.
I can feel a disturbance in the tone-deaf community as thousands of voices cried out in terror and suddenly unsubscribed. So, okay. So after the word salad with the Good Time Gang at the Bohemian Rhapsody Club, we're back to Mimi and Roger bonding over both having HIV. Yay! Common ground, build strong, lasting relationships. All the friends are creeping in the background during this intimate scene. Go drink your wine and beer. Like, it was kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I particularly like that part where these two are having a very serious moment and everybody else is just sitting at the table watching them.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that scene could have been those two having an intimate scene with everybody else, like, looking like they're just having dinner and, like,
Yeah.
almost talking, being engaged with each other, because that, to me, would have symbolized that Mimi and Roger are somewhere else. They're still in the building, maybe they're outside, they're just in a corner somewhere, having their moment, while the others are enjoying themselves, eating food, having their wine and beer. But instead, all eyes are focused on the dysfunctional duo that is these two.
Oh my god.
And it just seemed weird to me.
That's another thing that was kind of, it's one of those changes that this version has, or I guess that the movie made from this version. You've got that Roger and Mimi are right there when everything's happening. And I do have kind of a theory on that we have so much of this framing device of Mark, things being from Mark's perspective. Maybe this is Mark's perspective, that everyone should be focusing on this love story that's happening right in front of him and would be so good for his film. But that's my own thing, because we don't have the creator here to talk to.
That's not an improbable possibility either.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with, like, in the movie as well as in the show, he's documenting everything, making a film. So that's actually a very good hypothesis. I bravo to you, because I was just gonna bitch and moan, and you're like, here is a actually plausible reality.
One of the things that makes me think that is because of Mark's thing that ends the first act, where he's talking about the riot happening and everything going on in the Life Cafe, and then he says, in a corner oblivious to all of this, Mimi and Roger share a small kiss, and you have that moment where they're just off on their own. And so it's one of those, like, this is all from Mark's perspective. This is his film.
And I was totally wrong. There is a riot in this.
Yes,
it's just
at the
not on stage.
Yeah, they just mentioned that people are sitting there mooing.
Yeah, they just mentioned that there's a riot going outside. And that's where we have the act break.
And where Joanne breaks up with Maureen for the first time.
Oh, that's right, because she watched, because during that whole part, Joanne keeps coming back to be like, hey, can I join the festivities? And Maureen's like, no, you gotta finish packing up equipment. Make sure you do this, and make sure you do that. And then while Joanne's gone, like, she's coming back, and she catches Maureen macking with a girl, and she's just like, that's it. And so you're right, they do break up there. I forgot about that.
Yeah, and Benny says his first hint about the fact that he and Mimi were a thing.
3 months ago, and I have a feeling he's been married longer than that. So just another point in Benny's a douchebag. But that's where it ends, and then we have a nice 10-minute intermission in which we got our dinner and just talked a bit, and then the show breaks from the intermission with 525,600 catchy lyrics, and then on to the New Year's rockin', breakin' party. Maureen is not thrilled about Joanne and Mark being buddies, and it's cute to watch the two recovering heroin addicts be in love, because oxytocin is addictive. And these bunch of junkies, after some answering machine messages, Benny shows up to talk about how he banged Mimi, and Roger still acts like a little baby bitch. I wonder if Roger is based off of a real character or not.
I wonder that too.
Because I feel like Roger is one of the most emotionally stunted and immature people I've seen, like, in this show, definitely, but, like, in any media. He has this, maybe it's because he fancies himself a rock star, so he has this attitude of, like, everyone should want me before I even know that they exist, and if they had a life before they met me, then...
Well, and, like, the thing that pisses me off with Roger, too, is that, like, he's so quick to believe Benny when Benny comes in saying, oh, Mimi seduced me in order to get your apartment back, and Mimi's like, no, I was on my way to work, and you came on to me, and I kicked you because you were trying to, it made me, it always rubs me the wrong way there, because it's like, Roger, stand up for your girl!
Yeah, if I had to guess, I think part of that is the fear that people always have that the person they love is going to hurt them.
Yeah.
Or, cheating on them kind of thing. So someone comes up and they're like, yeah, I banged your girlfriend. They're like, I knew it because I had these suspicions in my head because I'm emotionally insecure and I'm worried that someone's going to leave me. And this just confirms it. So I think it's that kind of thing. But because Roger is an angsty rocker, he's a knee-jerk reactor. Anytime anything happens, he's just...
Yeah.
And he's next to Maureen. Okay. So, Maureen? Shit. So, Maureen and Benny, I probably don't like equally. For different reasons. Close behind them is Roger.
Yeah.
So, those three are at the bottom of my do not like list, or should say they're at the top of my do not like list. For characters. Actors are great.
Yeah.
It's how you know a good actor is if you hate their character. Because they're very convincing. But anyway, back to this. Roger and Mimi get over the fight faster than in the movie, which I was like, okay, cool. Done with that bit of angst. Only for the Dark Lord of Smack to return and tempt Mimi with snow or something. Powdered sugar, maybe? Mimi's a dancer. She's watching her carbs. Maureen and Joanne have their Take Me or Leave Me song. I vote leave. Maureen is a whore and Joanne is nice, respectful, and not a whore. Opposites attract, I guess? I don't know. You and I have some opposites, but... I don't know, you and I are interesting because it's like we have a lot in common emotionally and mentally, but when it comes to things like interests and hobbies, it is wildly different.
Yeah.
Like, there's been more overlap since we've known each other, but still. Like,
different.
Wildly different. On to the next topic. Stop killing Angel. I hate seeing Angel dying. I am done with it. Stop it. No more. Let Angel live.
I agree.
Like, I'm so tired of seeing these two sweet gay lovebirds going through emotional torment while everybody else around them who could have good relationships is pissing them away.
Yeah.
And it's super sad that the two people who, like, are so good with each other are not allowed to be together. I'm sure there's some other subtext intentionally put in there that I'm not glimpsing at the moment. But I don't like it. I don't like it. It makes me sad.
Yeah, me too. I wish that it's one of those things where it's like, okay, yeah, the reality of it, but also no, just let Angel
Hey, Mimi has AIDS, and she lives at the end.
Yeah, that's always bothered me.
So why is it always that Angel has to die? Like, okay, next revision of this show, how about this? Mimi dies, Angel lives, okay? Or something. Actually, better yet, Roger dies. Can we have Roger die? Oh, sorry, I'm thumping your computer.
It's alright.
No, Roger can't die because it wouldn't have the same... Oh, damn it! Angel has to die. Otherwise, you insert any other character into that scene, it doesn't have the same emotional impact. That's why Angel has to die.
And it sucks.
To draw tears out of the audience like they did with you.
I'm
getting to that, so... Actually, in a couple notes. Note to Roger, stop being a bitch. Life goes on without you. Grab Mimi by the hips. Live life while you have a life to live. You brooding punk, emo, wannabe, baby butt-faced bonehead. And And here comes the song that's cut from the movie, says Kay. Warren waits in anticipation while the answering machine lady spiels her karching speech about trying to get Mark to come work for her, because I can pay you. This song. This is the song that Kay was telling me about. Hot, 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 the anti-condom song. Kay says this song is about being sexually frustrated during the AIDS crisis of the 80s and early 90s, because condoms don't exist. I'm sorry, but when faced with life-threatening disease, it's better to not die.
Well, it's not that they don't exist, it's that they're wanting closer contact in their life.
And I get it, but if you're promiscuous, and you're banging a bunch of different partners, and you know that there's this disease floating out there that's communicable through bodily exchanges and through sex, you deal with it, because you know what you do otherwise? You pick one partner and you only have sex with them.
I think part of it, too, will come with,
will come.
God damn it. So, you don't have... Wow, this is definitely going into territory. They didn't really do, like, the super thin condoms that they have now. They were... And you don't have as many people knowing that you need to lube. You need to, like... Yeah. I'm trying to not send this into explicit territory, explaining why this would be about the frustrations of sex during the 80s and 90s during the AIDS crisis, because even if you're with a partner, like, say that you're not HIV positive, but they are, but you want to still have sex, you gotta have a condom, and... Yeah.
No, I mean...
So it becomes frustrating.
No, I mean, I totally agree. Raw dogging is way better than using a condom, but... but, AIDS. It's okay, Kay. I'm about to make you sad.
Oh, God.
Yay! The funeral scene! The scene that makes Kay cry. Stop making Kay cry, you bastards!
Yeah, and this made me cry more so than the movie, because the movie, they just have Angel's coffin, they have a picture, they have the drumsticks. The stage play, as they're doing Angel's eulogy, Angel gets off of the table with the blanket hanging behind him. They're behind her. Which they swap back and forth on gender a lot for Angel. So it's kind of hard to know which pronouns to use with Angel. But as she's walking off the stage, as everyone's talking about her, she's just got this light bathed down on her. And at one point, when Mark is talking about her with the New York tourist, she turns back and smiles.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I just was like, okay, here come the tears.
Well, I think you also were crying during the scene that has Colin pick up Angel
during Without You.
Yeah, Without You. And then lays down next to him and stuff. And
yeah, that was... Screw you. Screw you, directors. You made me cry. You made me cry more than the movie did.
Like I've said before, I don't feel normal human emotions, so Kay feels all of my sorrow for me.
It's not good.
And yeah. But back to something a little bit more chipper. We have the couple's fighting song, where Roger has his guitar car and is southbound for Santa Fe, and Joanne and Maureen are dysfunctional as ever. Oh, and Benny is a cheating bastard.
Yep.
And Mark tries to talk some sense into Roger, but Roger is a boner-brained baby, and even gives opportunities at redemption and repair, he bails. Like, Roger officially is less useful than Benny, and that's saying something.
Yeah.
It's just, like, that's the thing, is the scene in this show was definitely more emotionally charged than in the movie, because Mimi is basically, like, comes to him, and then Mark makes a comment, like, she's, she looks pale, she's thinner, like, she's on her way out.
Yeah.
Like, don't you want to be with her before it's too late? And he's just an angsty prick, and Roger's like, no, I'm gonna go to Santa Fe. I'm gonna open up my own restaurant with blackjack and hookers and Christ, not with those words. And Mimi is like telling him like, I just came to say goodbye. Like I just came to say goodbye, kind of thing. And it's like, I hate Roger. I don't like Roger. And Benny, you know, is like, oh, I'll pay for rehab if you want to go to rehab, kind of thing. And it's like, well, there's a positive point to
Benny
the bastard. And Colin and Benny have a moment that was sweet, and it's actually the moment that made me like Benny, at least in that moment.
Yeah,
because it's after Roger leaves, and everybody's kind of bummed, and I can't remember exactly what it was, but like Colin and Roger, they're just like, let's go. What was it? Go get drunk or something.
Well,
like that, wasn't
Collins gets thrown out of the church because he couldn't pay for Angel's funeral.
That's right.
And I hate very few characters more than that priest, just for his get out of here, you know. Like he was a homophobic priest, and
yeah, he
throws a slur
at him.
And it's one of those things that I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah.
But that's also just, that's me
doing God's work. But it's not.
If your religion makes it so that you do that sort of garbage, I'm sorry, but it's wrong. I'm sorry, and we might lose people for that, but
especially it's based on love.
If you're being taught to hate, that's not okay.
It's not okay,
and that's not what you should be being taught, and that's not what I learned until we had people who had their own prejudices running things. Then it was like, oh, now it's time to gay bash and be homophobic and be transphobic, and it's like, no, that is not what you're... Anyway. Sorry, the priest in that gives me angry feelings.
But speaking of hate, Mark hates the corporate film world.
Yep.
Mark really hates it, and he hates covering vampire welfare queens who are addicted to bowling, because we're living in America at the end of the millennium. I know that tune is way off. Bite me. It's all I've got. I'm sorry. And then we have the parent choir of voicemail messages. Call your mothers, folks. Beep. Roger and Mark are having a bro moment. Oh, see, and they're doing that part. Roger, like the little bitch he is, ends up coming back to New York, and Roger and Mark are having a bro moment, when Collins comes in with money, 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 courtesy of an angel. They're singing about their Santa Fe cafe when Joanne and Maureen crash the good times with a dying Mimi. Women, am I right? Always the killjoys. Hear the dog wrestling like, oh no, Mom's gonna kill Dad. I'm gonna get a new dad. Looks at Kay. Just kidding. Please don't hurt me. Roger and Mimi should both tell each other how much Roger sucks and how much of this is his fault. If Roger wasn't such a little bitch, he would have been with Mimi and they would have had good times before she hurtled towards the abyss. Now he's gonna murder her with his mediocre song.
God, I hate that song.
Yeah, I do too. It's not a good song. It's a lame song. And after Mimi's resurrection, the entire cast and the past cast come on stage to sing Seasons of Love, and it was awesome. Yep. So, just like in the movie, you know, Mimi dies, but then gets spit out by heaven, because they're like, this lady angel says it's not your time. You gotta go back to that white boy and his mediocre song and tell him he needs a rewrite. And then they're doing their singing, and everything's better now.
Turn around, girlfriend. Listen to that boy's song. It's trash.
You gotta tell him that it
Tell him it sucks.
Your song was so bad, it kept me from dying. I was dying, and heaven heard it, and they were like, oh, hell no. Shut the gates. But I really actually, like, it's not applicable really to a comparison between the stage and the movie version, but I just thought for the fact that this was the last show for the Broadway cast.
Yeah.
It was really beautiful to have the old cast and the current cast, everybody together singing on stage.
Yeah.
It was just really nice.
It was wonderful, and
it was really cool.
Yeah.
And so that's the end. I do think that I liked the Broadway version more than the movie. Not that the movie didn't do well, not that the movie didn't have a lot of strong points and things in its favor, just that you can do with film that you can't do with live theater. But just overall, everything tallied and counted for, the theater version was really good. It was better.
I agree 100%.
And man, it's hard to compare two really good things though.
Yeah.
Because it's like, yeah, the movie it's a movie. It has a lot of silent parts where they're just showing, people moving, walking, singing, and then they'll have regular dialogue and then song parts. And then you have the theater version, which is much more go, 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 go.
Yeah.
Like, it's song after song, singing in between songs, I would say there's far fewer points where there's just dialogue.
Yeah, and it's interesting too, because you see what they have to do with their limited set too.
Yeah.
And it's more, I don't know the right word to use for it, because I wouldn't say gritty, but it's more, well, and especially because this show, went from previews to opening without anything from the creator. It's more organic, maybe? I don't know what the word is that I'm trying to say, because this is, what we saw was what you would have seen in 1996.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
I don't know. It's definitely faster paced. It doesn't have the slower moments of the movie.
Yeah,
and
it does not feel like 2.5 hours.
And I think that because it's faster paced, that's why you were able to get in more subtle character building stuff with characters. You're able to have more scenes. Like, it's just, you're able to have more in it, even though it was in a limited space. But yeah, both good. Both are very good. I do give the point to the theater version, though, as I've said 15 times in the last 5 minutes. It was good.
Awesome.
It was definitely good.
So, next week will be something a lot lighter and a lot happier. And, one sec. I need to pull up the name of the person that I'm thanking for this really quick, because I am so thrilled that they were able to hook me up with this.
So we're going to go silent.
Alright. So, I need to thank KDM1412, who was also our first reviewer, because they sent me some links to the show that we're going to be watching next. I am so frickin' excited.
Thank you, KDM.
We are going to be watching Legally Blonde, the musical.
What?
Yes.
So, okay, quick question. Was it a musical before a movie, or
No.
movie before musical?
Movie before musical.
Okay.
This is the musical based on the movie.
So, spoilers, I have seen the movie.
Yep.
I'm excited, though, because I like the movie.
Yeah, it's
So
going to
awesome.
be so
That's
fun.
That's gonna be our next show?
Yes.
Sweet.
I'm excited.
Yes,
All
thank
right.
you. Thank you very much for providing those links.
Yeah, thank you so much, KDM. You're awesome. Alright. So, thank you guys so much for listening.
We really hope you enjoyed. And thank you for coming back week after week. And we really hope that you're sharing this with your loved ones. And, please take a moment and rate us on iTunes. Like I had said earlier, I have a thing going with Kay right now. Say if you're cultured or uncultured, because I wanna know who my swine brethren, my swine brothers and sisters out there are. But I assume that most of you are far more cultured than I am.
So we've got uncultured swine. What would the cultured be?
Just cultured.
Okay.
Just cultured.
Because, I'm partial to, cultured crow or something, but that's just because I like corvids, so...
Yeah. Yeah, that is because you like corvids.
Yeah.
I don't know, because in my brain I picture cultured is like a pig with a monocle and a top hat and a cane that's looking all fancy, and then uncultured is just rolling around in the mud looking...
Cultured porcine.
There you go.
I'm a nerd.
But you can reach out to us on Twitter at Tone Deaf Musical.
Mm-hmm.
You can send us an email at tonedeafmusical@gmail. If you want to help support the show, you can find us on patreon.com at Tone Deaf Musical. And we just really, really appreciate everything you guys do, sharing us with friends, family, helping us, get a little bit bigger of a following, just so that we can entertain more people. Like it is. We check stuff every day, and it is just so gratifying. It brings a smile to our faces to just see more downloads and to see that we're reaching more people. Like I don't really know how to describe it other than it just gives me warm fuzzy feelings.
It's the first thing that I check in the morning,
and it's really nice. So thank you guys, and thank you for coming back week after week and having fun with us.
Yeah,
thank you. We just can't thank you enough.
And thank you for being understanding when our opinions differ or our beliefs differ, because they often do.
Yeah, remember, uncultured.
Or just differences occur, different strokes for different folks. But yeah, just, gosh, guys, thank you so much. Oh, we also do have Facebook, Tone Deaf Musical. I can't remember if we said that already.
Nope.
Okay, so yeah, we have Facebook, Tone Deaf Musical. Right now, it's mostly just, posting for new episodes. I do want to try and get some memes going on there, some real dank memes.
Dank theater memes?
Dank theater memes. Like all the cool kids are doing. What's up, cool kids? But thank you. We can't say it enough, but...
Thank you.
From the bottom of our hearts, I'm Kay.
I'm Warren.
Thank you for listening, and this has been
Tone Deaf.